Hi everyone, Amber Kane, creativity educator and textile designer, and today I am going to give you a peek into my studio and let you watch me make a scarf from start to finish. You're going to see how I warp the yarn, dress the loom, weave the scarf, mask the design, paint the discharge paste, iron the piece, and finally how to wear it. The first step is warping the yarn. When warping the yarn, you're measuring the length that your scarf is going to be as well as the width. It's important that all of the pieces are lined up properly, and so that's what's happening while I'm warping the piece. I always get the loom ready for about 3 to 4 scarves at a time, so I am warping 11 yards of yarn right now. Most people do this really specifically and count through the process. I'm pretty free-flowing in the design. This is Velo storming into the studio to attack the yarn. She's always so very helpful. And so this process goes on for a while. I normally watch a movie while I'm doing it. Next, I'm dressing the loom, and so I do mine from back to front. Some people do it the opposite direction. And this is getting all of the yarn into place. To create the pattern of your scarf, you take each piece of thread and thread it through a heddle in a specific pattern. As you're threading through the heddle, that creates what your scarf is going to look like. I'm setting mine up for plain weave, so I'm threading mine 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2 until I have all of my threads in place. So this is a bit of a time-consuming process, which is why I try and set the loom up to do several scarves at a time instead of starting over for every single piece. So next you are going to see me threading all of the threads through what is called the reed. This helps to space the threads out evenly, and this is what's determining the actual width of your piece. You can get reeds that have different amounts of spacing in them, which determines how tight or how openly your piece is woven. And so it's almost ready to weave at this point in time. After it goes through the reed, I then have to tie it onto one last bar and it's ready to go. This is my bobbin winder. They do sell these with a motor, but I bought mine when I wasn't actually making that many scarves, so mine is totally manual. This is where you're loading all of the yarn that you are going to actually be weaving with, and so this is called the weft thread that I'm preparing right now. Next is the actual weaving process. So I already have some started in what you're seeing here. You put the bobbin into what's called a shuttle, and that is what you're going to use to weave with. There's always only about 10 to 12 inches of your piece that's in front of you, and then it wraps around a beam below you. So when you're working, you're only seeing a small part of your piece at the time. There's petals that I'm pushing, and depending on the order of the petals, they work with lifting the heddles, and that determines, once again, the pattern that you're creating in the scarf. So this scarf is the real plain weave, which is the over-under type of method that most people are really familiar with when they think about weaving. What I'm doing after each pass is called beating the yarn into place. So that's making sure that the piece is nice and consistent in how it is actually woven. It's necessary to do that pretty evenly so that your weave doesn't have open spots in some areas and tight spots in other areas. after you weave the piece, you cut it off the loom. And now I'm working on creating my own mask because I'm going to paint a pattern into this. So I'm using packing tape because it moves off the fabric fairly easily without making any damage, but it also holds the pattern. Discharge paste is really like a paste, and you paint it onto your fabric. You want to make sure you have a lot that it really soaks into the fabric. Wherever the discharge paste is, it's actually going to remove the color from the fiber. The only thing you have to be careful of is it doesn't always change it to white. Different colors and different fibers react with the discharge paste differently. So you may want to test it out if you want to give it a try. The last step after the discharge paste is totally dry is to take an iron and iron your piece. And this is my favorite part, where it's kind of magical and you see your pattern start to appear. You have to iron for a while. You will also see, you can see in this that different types of yarn react differently. The Chanel really works well with the discharge paste. That's the burnt orange. And finally, you are ready to wear your brand new scarf. If you like this scarf, go ahead and check out amberkane.com and click on the shop tab. If you liked this video, then please share it with your friends and leave a comment below letting me know something new that you learned about the process of making a scarf.